U.S. warning, World War III scenario, grid down in Gaza. We've got a lot to cover today, guys. So, Iran, they may not want a full blown war with Israel, but it may get dragged into one. U.S. urges Beijing to temper Iran's response to Israel Hamas's war in an attempt to avoid a World War III scenario. And in addition to that, U.S. fighter jets strike Iran linked sites in Syria after attacks on the U.S. troops. And in addition to that, as the Israel Hamas war intensifies, Gaza's phone and internet has literally been cut off. Iran warns that the U.S. won't be spared if Israel Hamas war spreads. Near total internet and cellular blackout actually hits Gaza as Israel ramps up the strikes, guys. Please drop me a quick comment down below. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Got my mic working today, so hopefully you guys can fully enjoy the show. By the way, I know it's a lot to take in, guys. There's a lot going on, but in recent days, the world has been gripped with a series of developments in the Gaza conflict and the ever intense relationship between the United States and Iran. Now, these events, they have literally raised eyebrows and they sparked debates, and in some cases, they've even fueled fears of the potential World War III. Now, in today's video, I just want to kind of dive into these unfolding events, explore some of the warnings from Iran, the escalating tensions, and of course, the responses from the United States and the possible implications on a global scale, hopefully not a WW3. So just want to check the comments right quick. I appreciate you guys confirming that you can hear me. I appreciate it. Hey, Hannah, Josiah, I understand you're scared, but let's try to remain calm here. Joyce T, thank you for confirming. Miranda Smith, John, USOS, UCE. Yes, this is live. Yes. Thank you for confirm. D Brown, thank you so much. Donna Embry, thank you for confirming. Billy Bob. All right, guys. So, like I said, the largest telecommunications provider in Gaza that was still largely operational, Paultel, said yesterday that it had suffered a complete disruption of all services after heavy Israeli bombing earlier in the day, which ultimately destroyed its last remaining infrastructure connecting it to the global internet. So there's no phone, there's no internet over there as a result of the bombing. Israel's warning to the United States has ultimately sent shockwaves throughout the international community. And the Iranian government has also issued a very bold statement indicating that if the war in Gaza continues, the United States will face consequences. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys can imagine what kind of consequences the United States may face based on a threat like that. It's a rather concerning time. I'll be honest with you guys. And this isn't just your run-of-the-mill diplomatic warning. This is clearly a strong and ominous message. And the sheer audacity of this warning has made it a headline kind of grabbing event, if you ask me. And they're threatening the United States. This says a lot about the respect for President Biden. And it made a lot of people in previous videos comment and question, would they threaten former President Donald Trump in the way that they're threatening the United States today with President Biden at the helm? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the content, please drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate that. Also, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel for news and updates like this. Now, guys, the tension between the United States and Iran has steadily been escalating. And this escalation, it's not occurring in isolation, but it's actually closely tied to the Israel-Hamas conflict. So the Middle East has been, long been a volatile region. We know this. Many wars have been fought over there, but recent events have pushed the situation to the brink. Incidents involving attacks, skirmishes, geopolitical posturing, which has ultimately set the stage for a potential explosive situation. And, and of course, President Biden has requested, well over $100 billion to send over to support Israel. And this is on top of all of the other financial commitments, Social Security, SSI, SSDI still needs to have adequate funding. Many recipients of these Social Security benefits are wondering whether or not they're going to get all of the benefits that are due to them. And of course, there's inflation, a pending recession, or a looming recession, I should say. So there are a lot of headwinds for the U.S. economy, for the U.S. GDP, and for the markets as a whole. So it's very, very financially draining to be involved in two wars, possibly three. And so you kind of know where that goes here. So what makes Iran's warning even more significant is where it was delivered. So Iran's foreign minister chose the United Nations as the platform to convey this message. I don't know if it gets any more bold than that, guys. Now, it's kind of like having an argument with your neighbor on your front lawn for all the neighbors to see. But by making such a statement on American soil, specifically at the United Nations, Iran is sending a very clear message that it's not afraid to be confrontational on the world stage. And think about what's probably the most powerful known weapon known to man that pretty much trumps everything. If this type of weaponry were to be launched, it could be the end of society as a whole. So there's some clear concerns, there's some clear power struggle taking place here, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. So anyway, so the most alarming aspect of these recent developments is basically the possibility of a World War III, and we have to take that with the severity that it deserves. The interconnected nature of global events and conflicts, it is literally coming to the forefront. And this situation in Gaza is linked, albeit, indirectly, to other major disputes like, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan. But these interconnections, they create a web of uncertainty and have experts and policymakers around the world on edge, including many of you guys. I'm on edge. And the fear is that, a single spark could ultimately ignite a global, confrontation involving everyone. Now, let's kind of shift our focus just a little bit on how the United States is actually responding to these events and, of course, the warnings issued by President Biden. So we heard about the warnings from Iran, but President Biden has also issued warnings. Now, when the Gaza conflict began, President Biden, he issued a warning to Iran not to attack the United States. And this was seen as a clear message that the United States would not tolerate any hostile actions. However, as the events unfolded, it became very, very clear that, this warning did not at all deter Iran from pursuing its interests in the region. And a very key factor underlining these tensions is Iran's support for Hamas. So Hamas is an organization with a stated goal of destroying Israel. And I think they've made that very, very clear over the last 3 weeks. And, a close ally of the United States. Iran's backing of Hamas has been a thorn in the side of the U.S.-Iran relations for years. So that part isn't new. But recent events have literally brought this issue to the forefront once again. Now, over the past 2 weeks, the U.S. troops stationed in the Middle East have ultimately targeted or actually been victims of targeted attacks with direct links to Iran. Now, this escalation of violence has ultimately been a point of concern for the United States. President Biden, though, has responded by issuing yet another warning, signaling the seriousness with which the United States regards these attacks. If you have to issue one warning and then you don't follow through, by you issuing a second warning, I think it makes you look weak. That's just me personally. So anyway, in response to the attacks on the U.S. troops, the U.S. has taken military action. So U.S. fighter jets have started striking sites in Syria that are linked to Iran. So this actually marks a very significant escalation in the conflict, and it underscores the gravity of the situation here. Now, one question that just kind of arises in the wake of the developments is how foreign leaders perceive President Biden's warnings. Now, despite his warnings, attacks on the U.S. troops have continued. And of course, this raises concerns about whether or not these warnings are being viewed as just empty threats by foreign leaders or if they're actually being seen as genuine and credible. And I mean, based on Iran's actions, you can kind of already tell what their take is on President Biden's threats and warnings. Now, the most immediate and pressing concern is that the world could very well be teetering on the brink of a potential World War III. The Gaza conflict, intertwined with other global disputes like, the Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan situation, creates a very volatile mix. So, yeah. So, I mean, this is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. I mean, this is 2023. Talk about 2023 going out with a bang, right? Now, Iran's stance is this, they don't welcome any expansion of the war in the region, right? Their implicit threat, however, it looms ominously. If the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, often characterized as genocide by international observers, continues unabated, then of course the United States is not going to be able to escape unscathed. Now, on the other side of the conflict, you got Israel's, objective, which is to wipe out the terrorist organization controlling Gaza, which attacks on Israeli territory have resulted in the civilian casualties and the trauma. Now, the recent October 7th attack, approximately 3 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago to the day, which left many dead and other hostages taken, served as a grim reminder of the ongoing tensions over in the region. Now, to achieve this objective, Israel has resorted to a combination of airstrikes, imposing a siege, and preparing for a ground invasion. Palestinian authorities have claimed that over 7,000 casualties have been sustained, further escalating the humanitarian crisis. Now, amid all this chaos, there was a glimmer of hope as offered to, release civilian hostages. The global community responsibility has come to the forefront with calls for the release of 6,000 Palestinians currently held in Israeli prisons. Now, Iran, along with Qatar and Turkey, have expressed readiness to participate in the humanitarian endeavor, signaling a potential avenue for de-escalation, which would be very good. We need that right now. We really do. Now, the escalating circumstance in the Middle East, it's definitely raised some serious, profound concerns worldwide. With the recent U.S. fighter jet strikes against Iran-linked sites over in Syria, it's very evident that the United States aims to deter future aggression and to avoid further regional escalation. Now, these strikes are seen as a response to the increasing number of attacks on U.S. bases and personnel attributed to Iranian-backed militia groups since October 17th. So President Biden had to do something. President Biden gave the order to send a strike over, and it was executed. President Joe Biden's response has been, to conduct narrowly tailored strikes with the aim of making it abundantly clear that the United States will, in fact, defend itself and its interests. Now, a lot of people are saying we need to close up our borders. We need to lock down our borders and protect the United States here at home. And, with valid concern. An attack could happen anywhere, abroad, on U.S. soil. So we need to be fully aware of where we stand today. And we need to be very proactive, very vigilant, and paying very, very close attention to what's going on here at home. Because what happened in Israel, I mean, these people were living their lives. And then all of a sudden, a horrific scene unfolded, which many people are comparing it to the 9/11 event. Now, this approach that we're talking about here, it underscores a separation between the United States' actions and, of course, Israel's war against the terrorist organization in Gaza, highlighting the complexity of this situation. Now, I don't know if they're going to close the borders or not. I don't know. I see you guys asking the questions in the comments, and I can't answer that. I don't see it. Kathy says, united we stand, divided we fall. Steve, the boss. Ayo, what's going on, man? Hey, Judy Highland, Carrie Jackson, Linda Livingston. If Trump was in the White House, we wouldn't be going through this crap. According to Linda Livingston. They caught the main shooter. Oh, Steve-O, the boss. I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you for that update. That main shooter situation is just one of many things that we have to kind of fill our headlines with these days here in America. Is just wild. 2023 is going out with a bang, no pun intended. Now, amid these tumultuous events, tech mogul Elon Musk, he issued a dire warning, categorizing, or I should say, characterizing the situation as an existential threat to humanity. And he's right. Elon Musk is 100% right about this. Elon Musk also made a comment saying, like, Elon Musk said something like President Biden may be sleepwalking into World War III. I certainly hope not. I certainly hope that he can stay awake, stay vigilant, stay mentally focused enough to get us through this situation and ideally de-escalate away from any type of World War III direction. So, the gravity of Elon Musk's statement definitely underscores the severity of the crisis and its potential consequences. And to be honest with you, I really wish we could talk about more positive events right now, but this is the world we're living in right now, guys. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, not trying to spread fear, but these are facts. These are facts. So if we ignore the facts, then we're not doing anything more than putting our heads in the sand. And so I'm not doing that. So, if you want me to lie to you, then you probably, you just come to the wrong channel, because I'm not going to do that. Now, as the situation unfolds, questions loom. Is de-escalation even possible? Right? And hopefully it is. Or are we destined to witness further retaliation? Because it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. So ideally we'll de-escalate. Now, we got hundreds of people in this live here, guys. Show some love, drop a quick like for the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel for more content, for more updates. I totally appreciate that, you guys. Also, I'm going to leave some helpful links for you down below in a pinned comment, as well as in the description, that I'd like you guys to also check out for your benefits. But yeah, so can we de-escalate from the current state that we're in right now? That's the big question. So, of course, speculation about the possibility of World War III has taken center stage, sending, shockwaves throughout the entire global community. And this is a major valid concern. The alliances of various countries adds just another layer of complexity, raising further concerns about how other nations could possibly get involved in this brewing conflict, bringing us that much closer to, seeing a WW3 situation, which no one wants to see. Now, in the past 48 hours, the Middle East has literally witnessed escalating developments that have literally just kind of like left the world on edge. A lot of you guys are on edge right now. I see your comments. Mitch, Ron, you should run for office. Oh, no, thank you. I do not want that kind of pressure. I'll just hang out here in my kitchen instead. Thank you, though. I appreciate the offer. I'm not running for office. But yeah, the involvement of Israel, the United States, and Iran, this is a crisis, and it has literally just cast a dark shadow over the entire region, with the possibility of WW3 looming in the background, and I don't like it. No one likes it. No one wants a draft reinstated, and no one really wins in a war. Some people win, if you know what I mean, right? If you're in a right position, you win. And of course, what a lot of people don't like, including myself, is that the decision makers who decide to declare war, it's never them going to war. It's never their children. It's never their relatives going to war. It's everyone else. And that's really unfair. And I think that decisions would be different if they were personally affected by the decisions and the lives that are put at risk. So what's going on, Cash Ryan? I see you, man. It's been a while. Gloria Harris, full moon is out. Look up. I can't see the moon from here. I may have to walk to the other side of the house after this live ends. But let me know if anybody else is seeing a full moon out, because Gloria Harris says that it is out. 411 now says, Ron, you are 1000% correct. Appreciate that. Start preparing now for bad times. They're coming. Kathy Sweatmom. Manifest peace. That is a good idea. Let us manifest peace. Yeah. And of course, Tamia Jackson calls out, I just find all this ironic nearing election coming. And you can't ignore that. You like, here's the thing. Think about when Trump's presidency was, I won't say it was like, well, it was almost nearing to an end, right? That's when the whole C-19 virus came out. And so that was a black swan event that just suddenly came about, you know, just before elections were around the corner. So here we have again, and if, usually we look at history to determine, because we can't see the future, but generally speaking, humans will typically look back at history to attempt to predict what happened based on previous events. So if we look back at previous events, well, the most previous event was 2020 election, right? So here we are getting near to the 2024 election, and here we go again. A brand new, hopefully, I'm not saying it was a manufactured crisis, but surely the timing is rather ironic, and I'm glad you pointed that out. I want to say big thanks and shout out to 411 Now. New subscriber, thank you, sir, and I want to thank you for the super chat. Totally appreciate that. Kathy Sweatmon, Ron, I have followed your channel for a while. Love you and all the info you give. Kathy, I love you too. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys who have been supporting the channel for, however long you've been here. Newcomers, old schoolers, when the channel was like, not even 1,000 subscribers. So I can't believe that we're approaching nearly 500,000 subscribers today. It's just crazy. But I really appreciate the community that we've built over the years. Yeah. Phil O'Brien, Linda Sims from Mississippi. What's going on? John USOS UCE. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, drop some likes in the comments. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to do my best to keep you guys posted on all the events that's going on, whether it's, this Middle East, Iran, Palestine, Hamas, Israel conflict, China, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, everything that is going on right now in our U.S. economy and abroad globally that affects us here at home. I'm going to keep you guys posted as I always do, as I've always done. If you guys want me to cover anything in particular, make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section down below. I appreciate all the fist bumps in the comments. I appreciate all the muscle. What do you call those? Not avatars, but anyway, emojis. Appreciate the love, you guys. I'm gonna drop off for now. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I'll probably jump back on in a couple more hours to give you guys the next update. You guys be safe.